Welcome to the Smithers Insight Podcast, the place for trends, tech, and insights driving the global markets. From sustainable solutions to smart innovations, we unpack it all.
Hello and welcome to the Smithers Insights Podcast. My name's Adam Page. I'm the Vice President of Reports at Smithers. And I'm joined by my colleague, Dr. Windsor Holden, who's our expert who has authored our new study on the future of e-commerce packaging. Hi, Windsor.
Hi there, Adam.
Yeah, so just to start, obviously there's been a huge amount of growth in this space. So where do you see the growth coming for e-commerce packaging? And what do you see as some of the biggest opportunities we're going to see over the next few years?
Okay, just to take a little step back, and it is worth looking at why we've had this dramatic increase, I think, in e-commerce packaging sales. And of course, part of that is down to the fact that we've had this enormous increase in e-commerce itself, particularly since COVID, where you had this really huge transition from physical in-store purchases to digital purchases. And at the same time, that was also being accelerated by an increase in consumer adoption of smartphones. Essentially, people are buying far more on smartphones than they ever did via the desktop devices. And that's particularly the case, not just in markets such as Europe, North America, but increasingly in markets in Southeast Asia, in South America, particularly China, of course, and indeed in parts of sub-Saharan Africa as well.
And where do you see the biggest growth taking place over the next few years?
The biggest growth in terms of percentage year-on-year increases will be in those markets where you've still only got 3, 4, 5% of commerce online at the moment. So you will see a lot of growth in the more nascent markets in, say, South and Central America and the Middle East and Africa. In South America, Brazil is already streets ahead of the competition there, but you will see other markets, particularly, I'd have said, places like Chile, Argentina. You're starting to see significant uptick in e-commerce growth, and of course in the Middle East and Africa, with kind of two different sets of drivers there, particularly around digital inclusion, particularly around a burgeoning youth demographic. And of course, and critically here, it's these advancements in payments and logistics, which is really driving the growth.
And where do you see the growth in terms of end-use markets, end-use applications?
In terms of the actual payments, it's certainly, for example, groceries and food purchases. That said, if we look at it from a packaging perspective, yes, there will be significant growth in the groceries sector, but in terms of the actual value of packaging, it's going to continue to be clothing, footwear, accessories. So at the moment, it's something like just under 29% of total e-commerce packaging value. That's going to increase slightly over the next 5-6 years to past 30% before the end of the decade, and 31%, say, by 2031. And one of the reasons behind this, there's a lot of pushing of these products again by the social media and influencers. You've got to wear the most fashionable items. So that in itself, this huge social purchasing phenomenon, is very much driving both the larger and more expensive clothing purchases, but also more frequent purchases, so that people are keeping up with the new styles.
And then what do you see as some of the most exciting changes or disruption or development on the horizon?
If we look at the different packaging materials, certainly corrugated boxes are going to continue to account for the largest market share there. And again, it was still over nearly 80% last year. And yes, it will still be the lion's share throughout the forecast period. But in terms of the actual growth here, flexible packaging will certainly outstrip that of its rivals. You've got greater efficiencies there, you've got greater sustainability credentials, and that allied with these regulatory pushes on a national and international basis will certainly see a lot of growth in those particular packaging types.
Thank you, Windsor. So
thank you very
our
much.
new report on the future of e-commerce packaging to 2031 is available now from Smithers. Yeah, thank you very much.
Cheers.
You've been listening to the Smithers Insight podcast. Subscribe, share, and join us next time to unpack more industry developments.